Some restaurants may turn into digital kitchens. Lithium batteries may become a product of California. Why now is the best time of the year to buy electronics, and more tips and practices to keep yourself safe online. All that and more next on The Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to The Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Hey Tucson, welcome to the Computer Doctor Show. I'm Aaron Moss, your host. Good to have you with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVOI 1030 The Voice and streaming live on YouTube at the 1030 The Voice YouTube channel. Our open lines, 520-790-2040. Feel free to call in anytime with your comments and questions. We do have a great show prepared for you today. Co-hosting today, Rod Brown is a former AT&T installer, electrician, and musician.
Hello, Governor.
Yes, sir. And he's always bringing a great wealth of knowledge to our program. Later in the program, we're going to have an open discussion about privacy settings using the various social media platforms. There's so many things people post online that could be exploited. Some of these surprising things are things that you probably are not even aware of, so we're going to get into that. But first, our top tech news stories this week. A new Chipotle restaurant opened in upstate New York 2 weeks ago, but there's no ordering counter and no dining room to eat. They call it a digital kitchen that is made up of just a lobby and cooking space. The Chipotle website says that the new design concept hopes to fit more urban and new normal needs. Other restaurants may turn this model, as traditional eating out may not return anytime soon. As more food services are forced to change their business model to stay afloat, digital kitchens seem to be a future standard with or without a pandemic. Digital kitchens will thrive online and app-based ordering with pickup and delivery services only, thus eliminating the need for large open real estate. Lithium batteries may soon have a new birthplace in California. Bloomberg.com reports the batteries that power our phones, tablets, and laptops and other electronic devices must be carefully imported overseas, but can easily be manufactured in the States due to a large natural lithium supply that has been discovered at Bombay Beach in the Salton Sea, a location 100 miles east of San Diego. Demand for the metal is soaring as auto manufacturers are looking for lithium sources for electric car batteries, since gasoline cars will no longer be manufactured in a few short decades. Technologies are being developed to harvest the lithium from the beach waters. Tesla also found a lithium source in Nevada to fuel its lithium battery production as well. Lithium production in the U.S. will produce a ton of jobs and reduce importing from China and Australia in years to come. The California area is already being called Lithium Valley. Now is the best time of the year to buy your electronics. Black Friday is historically the best time of the year to buy your electronics, and this year is no exception to that. Amid the pandemic, the biggest demand items are anything that can create a home studio with mics, speakers, cameras. Most homes now have a Zoom room or area of the home for video conferencing, not to mention homeschooling and workspaces. My personal big box store recommendations for low-end electronics is Walmart and Target, and for the higher-end, Best Buy and Office Depot. And if you're a member of Sam's or Costco clubs, those will do as well. As always, be extremely careful when buying high-end electronics online because there are so many third-party retailers that don't have warranties. So if you ever need any advice when you're at these stores, feel free to give me a call, 520-261-5508. I will direct you with what to buy and what not to buy. Also, yesterday was a day marked in history, the 35th anniversary of the release of Windows 1.0 in 1985. It was originally a DOS extension to give the users consistent Windows-style graphics, or a graphical user interface, a concept that still exists in almost all systems today. prior to its release, computer users had no choice but to operate from an ugly command prompt and learning a book of commands. Microsoft and Apple openly shared resources and application designs back then, but they still do today, but very secretly. The Computer Doctor Show is looking to interview anyone who is currently using the new Starlink internet service by SpaceX. If you or someone you know are using the Starlink internet service by SpaceX, call us at 520-276-8326. Again, 520-276-8326. So we can get you scheduled into the program. And by the way, you don't have to be in Tucson for this. You can be anywhere in the world, in the United States. We just want to talk to somebody that is using this Starlink internet service. 2 weeks ago, we got a chance to talk about a very interesting subject about how scammers play phone tricks to drain your bank account. But we wanted to do a segment on social media safety because there's a lot of things that people post on social media these days that could be exploited. Joining and co-hosting with me today, Rod Brown. He's a former AT&T installer, electrician, and a musician, and a man of many talents and great insights on online safety. How are you, sir, today?
I'm doing fine.
You know, we were talking just last week on the phone about how when people post things online, how easy it is to exploit some of this information. So what is some pieces of information that people usually just put out there that can easily be exploited?
Well, you got your name. You know, websites are like, well, we want you to give you your real name because we don't want any bullies. And so then you post your real name, which I don't know, Aaron, I don't know how it got smart to give your real name to a computer that you can't see. None of those people. They're robots, and then they say, click this button to make sure that you're not a robot. And so you click the button and make sure to get rid of all of the bicycles or planes or what they want. Listen, some of that stuff, I can't even read. Like it'll say the caption thing, read this. Mm-hmm. I'm like, listen, I'm 50 years old. I can't read some of that stuff. But you put your name on there. Then they want your address. I've sent people, you know, pictures of my driver's license. I don't know who these people are. Mm-hmm. And we had a security breach. We're sorry. We have, you know,
something as small as telling all of Tucson that you're 50 years old could come back and bite you, right?
I'm not 50 years old. I know better, Aaron.
Okay, well, we're
that
dealing.
Was a lie.
We're dealing with a security expert here. Obviously, he's not going to give up any detrimental information. But you know, I had a friend of the family. She was a young teenager. She was so excited when she got her first driver's license, and she made the mistake. She took a picture of it and posted it on social media. Didn't block out anything.
Oh.
Okay. I saw it, and I immediately sent her a message to remove it immediately. But, you know, it was only on there for maybe 10 minutes, okay? If someone's doing a screen capture, okay, you can delete it, but, hey, it's still there. And this information does not even get deleted. It could always be brought back up or viewed in other ways, okay? So don't even think about now that was an obvious mistake. So there are mistakes that maybe we made when we were younger, when we didn't know about the different securities that are out there right now. So we may have posted something a long time ago.
And I found some people like that, bro.
Yeah.
But listen,
it's still out there.
A person will say, "Oh, well, I'm so and so," and they're not really that person. Facebook used to give up all types of information. And here's one thing. Say if I put on there, "Oh, hey, cuz," and I see a picture and I say, "Hey, cuz," well, now I know that's your cousin. Mm-hmm. Tell mom I said hi. Or, "Oh, I remember grandma." Well, now I know that's that person's grandmother. Mm-hmm. Or, and here's another one. They put a bunch of likes, and then someone put some hearts.
Yes.
Whenever they put hearts on something, well, that person has a connection with that other guy, see?
Yes.
And so now I can...
Could be family.
Right. And I can extract it. And Facebook tells you, who are your family? Put them all on there so we can all see. Here's another one, YouTube. Oh, look, you know, Ryan is boxing things. I want my kid to go online by himself and then go online. And okay, no. Now your kid's on there posting all types of crazy, and people are able to talk to that kid, see?
Okay. Now, I just want to slow down just a little bit. So I just want to touch on something that you had said. because I think this is important. So we put interesting things that happened in our lives. For example, if we took a trip, or if we got married, or you know, or some major life event that we want to share with the world, you know, and our friends and our family. We want to share these things. So we post a picture. Now, let's say it's somebody's wedding. Okay? Now here comes all these comments about that picture. Someone can actually go now by default, this is all public. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. By default, all this information is public, which means that you can go back in, you can privatize it. Okay, you can make it so that only your friends and people that you approve of can actually see this stuff. But by default, it's public. So if you post a picture of your wedding, okay, and there are comments, and like you said, people putting heart emojis and I love you. I remember you guys when you were kids. You guys are such a cute couple. You know, things like that. And it's strange that you can actually extrapolate that kind of information with people just by looking at their stuff. Okay, and what are some other things? But we're gonna take a quick break. But real quick, what are some other things that people need to be aware of as far as what to post and what not to post?
Names, addresses, people's families, people who are not on that social media site. That's another one. Oh my goodness. Don't put me on there if I'm not on Facebook. Don't put my name. Don't take a picture of me, upload it, and put it on Facebook if I'm not on there.
We're going to take a quick break, but a lot of people think that just having your picture on social media is effective. But up next on the Computer Doctor Show, we're going to continue our discussion on how people get information about you. We're also going to try to take some of your calls on the subject. You're listening to the Computer Doctor Show on KVOI 1030 Tucson. We'll be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Distracted driving has become a deadly epidemic. Saving one life from the hand of a distracted motorist is totally worth it. Commit to safe driving. Commit to following the law. And most importantly, commit to saving lives. Reckless and distracted driving is the #1 killer of teenagers in America. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Pledge to give driving the 100% attention it deserves. Phones down, eyes up. Just drive. Sponsored by Look, Save a Life in memory of Paul Garcia and Caitlin Festerling.
Solar is popping up all over town. Why? Because solar just makes sense. Say goodbye to expensive summer electricity bills. Call or text Julie Festerling at Icon Power, 520-307-1013. Avoid the new 7.9% price increase with the utility company. Call Julie at 520-307-1013. Icon Power will help you take control of your electric bill.
Perfect Look Photography is a photography business that serves individuals, families, wedding parties, children's parties, quinceañeras, and family reunions. We also do headshots for actors and model portfolios. We photograph all types of events in Tucson and communities in Pima and Santa Cruz counties. In addition, we provide more types of photos than any photographer in Tucson, including green screen, art photography, montages, and DVD slideshows. We provide great photos at great prices. For more information or to get a quote, please call 499-4209.
Ugly Goose Car Rental is new in Tucson, providing a low-cost auto rental alternative for just $100 per week. The only catch? The cars are ugly, but very safe and reliable to get you to work, school, shopping, and all your important appointments. To reserve your $100 a week car rental, call Ugly Goose Car Rental at 520-261-0439. Again, 520-261-0439.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdrtucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show. With us today, Rod Brown, co-hosting today. He is a former AT&T installer, electrician, and musician, continuing our discussion on how people use information that they find on the internet to, I'm going to use the word doxing. Look that word up, doxing, D-O-X-I-N-G. Doxing is a method of collection of data that's found online And what they can do, this is the same thing that the FBI, CIA do, when they're trying to research a person. People can actually do that with key pieces of information. Did you know that to run someone's background check, all you would really need is the correct spelling of their name, their approximate age, and maybe one or two of their relatives. And you can pull up a whole mess of information from background check websites. So there's all kinds of ways that can be done. So just before the break, we were talking with Rod here. People might put a picture like of their wedding and then the comments. So this is not even the person themselves supplying this information out there, but their loving family members that don't know better. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much revealing themselves as a relative.
Exactly. Listen, I found some baby daddies. Think I'm joking, man. I don't know how to find them. I can't find them. Or the government says, I can't find that person. Man, I found that person in 20 minutes. I have found people because all they ever used. Well, what's your boyfriend's name? Well, all he ever gave me was Buki. Oh, the Buki, that's it? Yeah, that's his name on Facebook. Oh, well, that's all I need. From there, I can find family members, cousins, where they went on vacation, all the different places. See, because there's these other websites, like MySpace, My Life, mylife.com, places like that. Mm-hmm. You can Google your own email address.
That's a background search site.
Some kind of way they got your background, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I believe Facebook was part of that, but that's just me. Mm-hmm. But you can look up your own email address without the email part, like the Gmail, such and such at Gmail. Get rid of the Gmail part. Just Google that, in quotes. Now, so the way you search for stuff on Google, if you put it in quotes, it'll just look just for that phrase or that word.
Exactly.
But you put that in there, and you'll listen. You can find a whole bunch of stuff about people, man.
And here's the thing. There's not one website that you can get all the information.
Right.
This is pretty much developing a profile. It's like a file. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you get an address from this site. That address brings you to maybe an email address. You search that email address, that brings up a company name that maybe that person worked. Okay? Or a fax number. You do some research on that fax number, and basically you're Googling each one of these pieces of information. It's all taking you to different websites, and you're keeping a file of all the collected data into one file. And then by the time you've done maybe 20 minutes of this doxing, you're starting to you have pretty much a pretty complete profile of a person. Now, normally people do this with malicious intent, but here's the thing. I want to say something for the listeners. So this doesn't mean that anything online, social media, that you shouldn't do it. But just like driving a car, okay? People die in car accidents all the time, right? Does that mean that you shouldn't drive a car? Does that mean you shouldn't get in a car and take a ride? No, it just means that you have to exercise the necessary precautions so that bad things don't happen. So what are some bad things? Well, what are some things that people should refrain from doing? If they're going to be spending a lot of time online, a lot of kids that maybe perhaps parents were shielding their children from before the pandemic. A lot of kids that weren't spending a whole lot of time online are now have to spend time online due to school, homeschooling, or various reasons. What are some of the things that we need to be careful of?
Hey, when you're online, you're a publisher. Make no mistake, you're publishing things. If so, just like a TV show, you got, The Mandalorian, or these are all TV shows. They're publishing. Mm-hmm. When you upload a video, that's publishing. When you write something and put it on the internet and stuff for other people to read it, you're now just like the newspaper. So people, what you wouldn't want the newspaper to write about your family and kids is the same thing you shouldn't want that you should do it yourself. Like, I wouldn't run down the street and say, these are my kids' names. Everybody, this is my kids' names. I wouldn't.
Not directly, but.
Right. And this is how old they are. This is where we're going on vacation. Take a look at my kids,
Yeah.
Here are my family pictures. I have been several things on Facebook.
Okay.
I've been female, male, white, black. Man, listen, I've been young, old. And then, because I wanted to see what it was like to live like somebody else, to see what it'd be like to be somebody else and see what they would think. Facebook was giving me all types of different information when I was a different person. If I claimed to be from some other country, next I'm getting all this, how about these friends? Well, how about these? Here's some ads for you. They want you to be pigeonholed into being who you are so they can put some ads on you, see. That means
that's
your
how
kids, too.
Absolutely. That's how these search engines and social media websites, that's how they make their money, through the advertising aspect. Okay, people sharing pictures with other people, there's no money in that. As a matter of fact, they're in the negative when that happens, because you're utilizing their servers, you're taking up real estate on their space. Why would they be doing that at no cost? Because I don't know of any social media sites that actually cost something. I know that it costs to do advertising on there. There's a cost to that, but just being a membership and adding content, you being on that website is valuable to them. Okay, so again, just like what you were saying before, why would they give something to you for free unless there was some sort of benefit for them?
If it's free, if the product is free, you're the product.
True. So let's go over just a few things of what people need to refrain from. You mentioned your name, so you want to be careful about where your name ends up. Now, we were talking about Facebook, but there's also this other social media. It's called Nextdoor.
Nextdoor.com.
Nextdoor.com. Now, a lot of older people use this. A lot of people that have this sense of community. Nextdoor is it's really a great. Got to turn that phone off. It's a great social media site that actually allows neighbors that physically live next to each other to communicate on some sort of platform. So now, in order to accomplish this, the social media site has to verify that people actually live next to each other. So they do that by sending out these postcards in the mail that have these confirmations. And obviously, only the homeowner of that house would actually be legally be able to get that postcard shipped to them. Okay, of course, a thinking person is always ways around that, but the idea is that it would it would only go to that person. So, is this dangerous? Because now they have a real address and they have a real name. Is this dangerous?
Yeah, Nextdoor is Facebook on steroids.
How?
Well, I've been on Nextdoor 3 times. I've been kicked off 3 times. So I've been in the same neighborhood. So how'd that happen? Some kind of way I was able to get back on. But that's another story. But the thing is, you're talking about communities coming together in a nice place where communities can come together. Well, now, in those communities are some jerks, and they come together with you, too. And see, in that neighborhood, they're going to talk about, on that site, they're going to ask you for I had to give them a driver's license name, number, social security number, the whole thing now.
Okay.
That's what they want.
That's kind of like where a lot of people have to start drawing the line. But there's a whole nother aspect of online security that we're going to be covering some future episodes. But a lot of that has to do with online security, making sure that you see that that security padlock icon in the top, and all the websites start with HTTPS.
Exactly.
Because there are some times that you do have to put in your social security number on government forms and government websites, things like that.
But not no Nextdoor.com.
Well, obviously there's some ways there is a very, very good way that I found out, a nice way around that. So we'll make sure that we cover that.
Some other guy's
we do have to cut this out though. Rod, thanks for being with us today. We would like to thank our awesome sponsors, Icon Power, Perfect Look Photography, and Ugly Goose Car Rental. Please do business with them. They are local and they help keep this show on the air. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. Rod Brown is co-hosting today. Ray Allen is at the control board. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVY 1030 The Voice. Stay safe, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Computer Doctor Show. If you missed any part of this live broadcast, we post all our episodes online at computerdoctorshow.com. Remember, the world is getting more and more tech, and so should you. To stay current with technology, listen to the Computer Doctor Show each week for local and global tech insights. If you have suggestions for a topic on a future show, send us an email at info@computerdoctorshow.com.